I want to show you a nice little brush I made for myself. I love this brush a lot. I think it's a beautiful brush. It's great for texture. It's got a lot of movement to it. It's beautiful. I can add a lot to my digital paintings with a brush like this. And I made this brush. It started with an image I created. And then I went into the brush settings and did some setting up for my brush. And when you add attributes to a brush, and you can add attributes to any brush, you can add attributes to a dot and make it very unique and something that you came up with. But right here is a little monitor that'll show you how your brush is going to look as you're working on it. So what is this brush I created? Well, let's find out. Let's go into brush tip shape and let's increase the spacing. All brushes, or I should say most brushes, are basically a stamp. And the spacing tells the brush how many times it's going to stamp. All right, so I have a very low number, which means my brush tip is just stamping like crazy, right? So let's add to the spacing and see what this brush is. And my amazing brush is my palm. And we'll just go right here and go click. And there it is. That's my brush. It's great. My dog makes a great brush. Makes sense. He's got fur. Why not? If you can understand the brush settings, how much more can you do with brushes? A lot. A lot more. So I'm going to go with this first setting here, which is size. And it's just that. And if you look at the monitor, you're going to see I'm making my brush smaller. Till I barely see what it is, to larger. Okay? So if I go on here, there's my brush. And because my spacing is so wide, I can see the individual tips as they hit the canvas. I can flip the picture. So let's make the brush larger so you can see this. So if you look at my dog's head down here, I'll flip X. It's like he's shaking his head going, you got a treat? So X is the horizontal. Y is the vertical. So that happens to every brush that you run through this. You can also click on both. So he's flipped and upside down. You can change the angle by grabbing this. That's my dog, who's the brush. All right, so I'm changing the angle of my brush. And I can change the roundness. Just grab this, squeeze. So it's a lot of control right here on this very first panel.